Hi everyone. In this session, we are going to see some tips and tricks from current electricity or the important points in a glance. Okay, so we are starting the chapter with the concept charge and current. What is current? The rate of change of charge flowing through a particular point in a conductor is known as current. Or we can represent it as current is equal to Q divided by T, rate of change of charge. And what is the unit of current? Unit of charge is coulomb divided by second, or we used to call it as ampere. Okay, that is the first concept we were seeing inside this chapter. Then when we move to the next concept, that is potential at a point. Okay, so potential we define in terms of work done. What is potential? It is the amount of work done to bring a unit positive charge from infinity to a point. Okay, or else we can represent it as V. V is a symbol we use to represent the potential. That is equal to work done divided by charge. Okay, so potential at a point means it is the amount of work done to bring a unit positive charge from infinity to a point. And we studied potential difference. What is potential difference? It is the amount of work done to bring a positive charge from one point to another point. So if you are seeing A and B, it is the amount of work done to bring positive charge from A to B. That is known as potential difference. Same equation we are using, W1 minus W2 or V1 minus VV2. Okay, and what is the unit of potential? It is volt. We used to represent it as or joule by charge, or that is equal to volt. Okay, our next concept is resistance. What is resistance? It is the obstruction offered by the circuit when electrons flows in a conductor. Okay, so on the basis of resistance, and we used to represent resistance with the letter R. On the basis of resistance, we studied a law. Remember that? It's Ohm's law. What is Ohm's law? How Ohm's law can be stated? According to Ohm's law, the current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference applied across its ends when the physical condition and the temperature is constant. So whenever you are stating Ohm's law, make sure that condition, that physical condition and temperature, that condition should be mentioned very particularly. Otherwise, your law will not be correct. Okay. So the current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across its ends, and at a particular condition, that physical condition and the temperature should be constant. Okay. Then on the basis of these three factors, we have maintained or we have derived an equation, that is V is equal to I into R. This is one of the very important equation. We need this equation, Ohm's law, in so many conditions in the problem section. Okay, so this is one of the very important equation. V is equal to I into R. V stands for potential difference, I stands for current, and R stands for resistance. Okay, so V is equal to I into R. If you are drawing a graph V versus I, okay, V versus I, consider this is the graph. We got it. It's a straight line. Okay, so the slope of VI graph will give resistance. Okay, the slope of VI graph will give the resistance. And what is the opposite of resistance? That is conductance. So from the IV graph, if it is I and V graph, the slope of IV graph will give the conductance, that is equal to 1 by R. Okay, so this will give the conductance and this slope will give the resistance. So keep in your mind, VI graph will give the resistance and IV graph will give the conductance. Okay, then on the basis of Ohm's law, we studied that if a graph, in a VI graph, if it's a straight line, it obeys Ohm's law. Okay, it obeys Ohm's law. The graph or the non-ohmic material never shows a graph like a straight line. It will be like a parabola. Okay, it will be like a curved line. Okay, so that is the difference between ohmic resistors and non-ohmic resistors. Ohmic resistors, always the graph will be a straight line. For non-ohmic resistance, it will be a curved line. Then the main important point is factors affecting resistance. Okay, which are the factors? First is the material. Okay, so we know that depends upon the material, the resistance will vary. Second one, the length of the conductor. Okay, length of the conductor, how it will vary? Length is directly proportional to the resistance. So we can write it as resistance is directly proportional to length. As the length increases, the electron has to overcome more collision. So automatically resistance offered by the circuit is more. And third point, thickness. Thickness of the conductor and is represented by the letter A. So resistance is inversely proportional to the thickness. So as the thickness increases, the electrons are getting more space to move without much collision. So the resistance is decreasing. And the fourth factor is a temperature. What happens when the temperature increases? As the temperature increases, the electrons start moving vigorously. So it gives more chance for the collision. Or we can write it as resistance is directly proportional to the temperature. Okay. So these are the main factors you have to remember as in the case of resistance. Now, what is resistivity? Soon after that, we studied resistivity. What is resistivity? It is a characteristic property of the material. Okay, so each material will have different resistivity. So that is a quality or the characteristic property of the material. Let's see which are the factors depends upon that. Basis of resistance, we can write it as R is directly proportional to L by A, or we can write it as R is L divided by pi R square. Okay, or R is equal to rho into L by pi R square or A square or rho L by A. Okay, so this is resistivity is the factor that is represented by rho. Rho is equal to R A by L. From the equation, we will get it as rho is equal to R A by L. Normally, we used to study that if any factor will come in the equation, that factors always depends upon the content, right? But here, these factors are independent. Area and length is always independent of this resistivity or specific resistance because it is a value for a unit length and unit area of cross section. Okay, so here only two factors are depends upon like material and temperature. Just consider the same factors which is depends upon the resistance. We studied material, length, area of cross section and temperature. So area of cross section and length is there in the equation, so that factors we can avoid. We don't want to bother about that. Okay, material and the temperature. These are the two factors depends upon this one is temperature and material. So depends upon the material, we know that if it is a specific characteristic property of the material, surely as the material change, the resistivity also or specific resistance also will vary. Okay, now temperature. So as the temperature increases, or we can tell that if we divide the materials into three categories like metals and alloys, then semiconductors and insulators Okay, so if we broadly divide the materials into these three categories, we can tell that resistivity is very low as in the case of metals. When it comes to semiconductors, comparatively comparing with the metals, it is little bit more. It is low, this is very low, and this is low, and this is more. Okay, for insulators, the resistivity is more, and semiconductors, it is in between metals and insulators. So this is the way how we can broadly classify and the resistivity in the case of three kinds of material: metal, semiconductors and insulators. Same way as in the case of temperature also we can divide like this. If you see in the case of temperature, for metals it is directly proportional. As the temperature increases, for metal, as the temperature increases, the resistivity also increases. But for semiconductors, it is just opposite. As the temperature increases, the resistivity decreases. Okay. And there are some special alloys like constantine and macrandine. There won't be any changes in the resistivity as the temperature increases. Now, one more thing we have studied, that according to the equation, resistivity is equal to, or resistance, how the resistance will vary. Resistance is equal to rho L by A. Okay. So, if we are stretching the length or material into double the length, what happens to the area of cross section? We know that area of cross section is equal to pi r square. On the basis of that, it will be reduced to 1 by 4. Okay. If we are doubling the 1, it will be reduced to 1 by 4 because squaring this value. Okay. If you are increasing to 3L, it will be 1 by 9. 3 square. Okay. If you are increasing 4 times, it will be 1 by 16. If you are increasing 5 times, it will be 1 by 25. Okay, so area of cross section and length is, if you are increasing the length, how many times? That just 1 by division, because it's a denominator factor. Okay, we have to square this value, so automatically we can find that the resistance will be varied accordingly. Okay, so depends upon the resistivity, like high resistance, low resistance, so many application level questions you can expect. So go check out what is meant for that, whether it is for low resistivity or high resistivity. So you have to particularly mention that and how it works. So that 2 points we need to write for a 2-mark question. Our next topic is superconductors. So everyone will write that superconductors are the material which shows zero resistance. But the condition is also very important at very low temperature. Okay. So superconductors are the material which shows zero resistance at very low temperature. Now we will see about the electromotive force, terminal voltage and voltage drop. Okay. So that is a case related with the potential available in a cell. Okay. So just consider this as a cell, anode, cathode, and it is dipped inside the electrolyte. Okay. Just consider this is A and this is B. And the first concept is electromotive force, or we used to call it as EMF. Okay. So as in the case of EMF, means it is the amount of work done to carry a unit charge through the entire circuit. Okay. So that means if you are starting from A and it is connected to an external circuit to B, so this is our starting point. Okay. It's the amount of work done to carry out a unit positive charge through the entire circuit. Okay. Starting from A, it's going through this way, then again inside this one, and it's reaching back to A. That is called EMF of a cell. So it includes the outside the cell and the inside electrolyte. Okay. So EMF means outside also we have to consider plus inside. Or we can tell that it is the maximum potential difference available when it is in the open circuit. Okay. Or when it is in not in use. Okay. Now second one, that is a terminal voltage. Okay. Terminal voltage. So EMF means outside plus inside. Okay. Now terminal voltage. What is terminal voltage? Same thing, but it is the amount of work done to carry a unit charge only through the outside circuit, that from A to B. That's enough. One anode electrode to another electrode. So this is considered the outside the cell. Okay. Now a third factor, voltage drop. Voltage drop. What is voltage drop? Here we are considering only the inside part. Okay. Through the electrolyte. The amount of work done to carry the ions or unit charge through the electrolyte. That is called terminal voltage. Okay. So EMF is represented by epsilon, terminal voltage with capital V and voltage drop with small v. So we can write it as, on the basis of this one, epsilon is equal to capital V plus small v. Okay. Capital V plus small v. So EMF means when the cell is not in use, the maximum available potential is known as EMF. Terminal voltage means when the cell is in use, what is the available voltage? That is called terminal voltage. So always this EMF is greater than the terminal voltage. Okay. So that means we need to minus, or V, capital V is equal to epsilon minus V. We have to avoid this internal voltage or voltage drop. That will give the effective terminal voltage available in the circuit. Okay. Our next concept is internal resistance. It is represented by the letter R. What is internal resistance? It is the resistance offered by the electrolyte. Okay. So we know that epsilon means it used to consider the outside voltage plus the internal voltage, terminal voltage and voltage drop. So this epsilon, we need to consider this internal resistance. So we studied the Ohm's law, V is equal to I into R. If this is the way how we used to represent the internal resistance. Epsilon plus internal resistance. This is the epsilon and this internal resistance. So this equation can be rewrite when we include this internal resistance. Instead of this V, we have to write it as epsilon. That is equal to I into R. External resistance is there plus internal resistance. So epsilon is equal to I into capital R plus R. R is the external resistance and small r is the internal resistance. Now if we see the factors affecting the internal resistance, first one, surface area. Surface area. As the surface area is more, the internal resistance is less, or it is inversely proportional to the surface area. Second one, distance between electrodes. Distance between electrodes. So as the distance increases, so simply we will mention it as S or D. As the distance increases, R also increases. It is directly proportional. Okay, because same way as the length of the conductor increases, the resistance offered by the circuit is more. Same way, if the distance inside the electrode increasing, it increases the resistance, internal resistance. Same factor here, surface area. There the area of cross section of the conductor. There it was inversely proportional. Here also same way. Now material. What happens? Material depends upon the material. It may vary. Some materials has less internal resistance and some of them have more internal resistance. Now last one is temperature. Okay. So somewhat similar factors are coming. If you are able to join, like compare and study, it will be easy for you to remember the factors affecting the internal resistance and resistance. But little bit change according to the conditions. Okay. What happens to temperature? As the temperature increases, the internal resistance also increases. Okay. Same factor there also, as the temperature increases, the internal resistance increases. So these are the main things you have to consider as in the case of a cell. Now we'll move on to the combination of resistance. So combination of resistance, we studied two set, series one and parallel one. If it is a series connection, like one after the another will be there, R1, R2, R3. What we have to do? Effective resistance is represented by RS, resistance of series. That's equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. Simply we have to add it. Now for parallel connection, parallel one, it will be connected one by one to the common supply, like if it is V. So everywhere is R1, R2, R3. Current will be different, I1, I2, I3. But the voltage available for everything will be same. Here single current will be there everywhere, V1, V2, V3. The voltage available in the circuit will be varying according to the resistance. Here common voltage, but the current is varying. How can we find it out? That 1 by Rp. We are using the factor form. 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. And always keep in your mind that you are solving for 1 by Rp. Finally, you have to find out the reciprocal of the value whatever you are getting. Okay, your purpose is to find out Rp, not 1 by Rp. Solve 1 by Rp, then find out the reciprocal of the final value what you are getting. Before converting into the decimal form, take the reciprocal, then you solve it. It will be easy for you to solve it. Okay, so these are the separately series combination and parallel combination. Now we will see what is a combined form. How can we solve the combined solution or combined resistances? Okay, so if you are getting the combined form, first try to solve the parallel connection. Depends upon the circuit. Okay, just see that this is the way how you got a connection. Okay, this is A and B, R1, R2, R3. Just consider this is the circuit you got for solving. What do you have to do? First solve this R1 and R2. Both are in parallel connection, right? So what can we do? For this one we can write it as 1 by Rp. 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Or what is Rp, or we can write it as R1, R2, R1 plus R2, right? That is 1 by Rp. So what is Rp? Rp is equal to R1 plus, R1, R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Whatever it is, let it be there. So how you have to solve it? Rp plus R3 or Rs. Okay. First Rp plus R3 will be there, that is equal to Rs. First you solve this part, find out Rp, then it will be like this way. This will be Rp and this is Rs, A and B. Then you can solve it as Rp plus R3, right? So that is the way you have to solve it. Now I'll show another circuit. Just consider somewhat similar circuit, you got it, and you have to find out A, B. So R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, R6, R7 and R8. How can we solve it? In this path you have a series circuit. In this path also you have a series circuit. Our normal condition, solve the parallel combination first, then as a series combination. So in this parallel circuit itself we have a series combination. So easily we can solve it like R1, R2 and R3. Right now I will write it as 1 ohm, 1 ohm, 1 ohm, 1. Everything is 1 ohm. Okay, so I'll solve how it is. What to do? So first we will solve this one. How can we solve this path? R1, R2 and R3. It is in series combination, right? So I'm going to change that all the three resistance with a single resistor, that is 1 plus 1 plus 1, it is 3 ohm. Okay, already we have 1 ohm here. Let it be there 1 ohm. Same way the down path R5, R6, R7. Again we are adding it. Again we got it as 3, right? So all together we have joined here and again 1 ohm. Now we got a single individual 3 resistance connected in parallel circuit. What do you have to do? I'm going to change this. What do you have to do right now? Now you have to find out 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by 3 plus 1 by 1 plus 1 by 3. Okay. Now we are finding out this solution. What we'll get? It's 3, 1 plus 3 plus 1. It is equal to 5 by 3. 1 by Rp is equal to 5 by 3. Then what do you have to find out? Rp. Rp is equal to 3 by 5. We have to find out the value here, right? So we will get it as 0.6 ohm. Okay. So we solved this part right now. So finally what will be there? This we found as 0.6. Then one more 1 is there. So B and A. Now easily we can find out the effective resistance is equal to 0.6 plus 1, that is equal to 1.6 ohm. So this is the method how we have to solve the different effective resistances. So whenever we get problem to find out the terminal voltage, so that time you can avoid the internal resistance. Whenever we need to find out the terminal voltage, or if the terminal voltage is given as 2V, and in the circuit even this EMF is given as another way, don't consider this internal resistance. Use it as I into R equation. Okay. And wherever the EMF is mentioned, then you can consider R plus R. Other time, only IR is enough. We don't want to consider the effective resistance. So for that time, we can avoid this internal resistance. Terminal voltage is only related with the outside resistance, and EMF is related with the internal resistance. So while solving the problem, keep that also in your mind. EMF means we have to consider the internal resistance, that is R plus R. Otherwise, if it is given in the problem or in the figure, the internal resistance is there. If you want to find out the current passing through the circuit or something, don't use this equation, use the equation V. V, if you are finding terminal voltage, only use the external resistance. We have come to the last session, that is electric energy and power. Energy, we know that is equivalent to the work done. Okay, so we studied the equation. Potential difference is equal to work done by charge, and I is equal to Q by T, or Q is equal to I into T. So on the basis of that, or from here W is equal to VQ. So on the basis of this equation and V is equal to I into R, we have few equations to find out the electrical energy. So first one, W is equal to VQ, or that is equal to, if we substitute this one, we will get it as VIT. So if we substitute V as I square R, we will get it as I square RT. Same way, if you are substituting I is equal to V by R here, we will get it as V square by R into RT will be there, or finally we can cancel off, R square will be there, finally we will cancel and we will get it as V square RT. So these are the equation you have to study as in the case of electric energy. W is equal to VQ, that is equal to VIT, that is equal to I square RT, that is equal to V square R by T. Okay. Then we studied another concept called power. I am not rubbing this one. On the basis of this, we will write it. What is power? What is power? Power is rate of change of energy. Right? Power is rate of change of work done. Okay, rate of change of work done. Work done we already have. So how can we find out power? That means divided by all the factors divided by T. P is equal to W by T. Right? So VQ by T. VQ by T, then VI T by T. Finally, what we will get if we divide by T? VI will be there. I square RT by T. Finally, we will get I square R. Again, V square R by T. We will get it as V square by R. So if we know the equation for work done, you can easily find out the equation for power. Power is rate of change of work done. Simply we have to divide with T. Okay. So easily you can remember the equation related with energy, that is work done is equal to energy and power. Can we find out the commercial unit of power? Power is equal to work done by T, or energy is equal to power into time. Power should be in watt and this is in hour or kilowatt hour. That will give the commercial unit. So 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joule, or 1 watt hour is equal to 3600 joule. These values keep in your mind. Now, how can we find out the power rating and safe current? If the value, or if it is mentioned that the rating is given as the power of or 220 volt, if the object is working with 220 volt having a power of 100 volts. Okay, if these two data are given, how can we find out the resistance offered by the material and the safe current? Okay, if the power and voltage, if the power rating is given, this is we used to call it as power rating. From the power rating, how can we find out the resistance offered by the circuit and the current passing, or the safe current? What is the safe limit of the material? Okay, so we studied the equation P is equal to V into I. So power is given, voltage is given. This is power and this is voltage. So by using this equation, we can find out the safe current. I is equal to P by V, right? Then how can we find out the resistance? So we studied in equation P is equal to V square by R, or R is equal to V square by P. So from this equation, so V is available here, power is also available here. From that we can find out the resistance. So these two equations are very important. Just remember, P is equal to V into I and P is equal to V square by R. From these equations we can find out the safe current and the resistance offered by the electrical appliances. Now we have come to the last point, that is heating effect of electric current, or we used to call it as Joule's law. Joule's law. It depends upon three factors. Heating effect is represented by the letter H, directly proportional to the square of the current passing through the circuit, resistance offered by the circuit, and how long it will travel. Or we can write it as H is equal to I square RT if you are multiplying with a constant of 1. Okay, H is equal to I square RT, depends upon three factors: square of the current passing through the circuit, resistance offered by the circuit, and time, how long the current is traveling through the conductor. Okay, so if you remember these very simple things, but make it sure that one by one, if you go without any problem, you can keep all these points in your mind, and very easily you can solve the problems related with this equation. You just want to remember. I think only in this chapter we are studying lots of equations. So take your book, prepare a short note, write it down all the equations. So it will be easy for you to revise just before the examination. Thank you.